Having meetings, having community things is incredibly important because this isn't a throw money at our problem type of community, right? Like the Midwest is get your hands dirty, get out into the field. So we end up making tons of friends and organizing with folks that like you see at the park, but like if you really want to see what the political engagement and the civic engagement is, it starts early here because the political really is personal here. Chicago takes its position in preserving the democracy and rights incredibly seriously. One of his things, like the owner is really dope.
All right, so we're gonna begin with an introduction. Charles is gonna open it up. Our first activity would be the circle. And the purpose of that is really more of just get a read of the room and like to see who everybody is, everyone can see each other, that kind of thing, right? After that is the main programming, and I'm kind of leading that part. So for the exercise, we're gonna pass out 2 sticky notes to people. And I'm gonna ask people to write on each sticky note, 1, what do you think CP's mission is? And then 2, on the second sticky note, what do you imagine CP's potential to be in Chicago? So it just kind of gets people to start thinking and like imagining and stuff like that. We'll talk about the election timeline, and then I think we kick it to Jordan for a brief kind of like what's next, the next meeting kind of thing, and then we break for lunch.
So we're going to St. Paul and the Redeemer. It's a Episcopalian church in Hyde Park. You know, there's a quote about Chicago being the city of big shoulders, and Carl Sandburg said, you know, maybe it got those big shoulders because it had to carry the weight of everything, or like these deep cuts, and I think that's a part of it. This is a city that was burned to the ground and built itself back up, and so it wears all of those identities on a sleeve, right? So we take how much work we do, how much we've had to fight, and make that a part of our political identity. All right, let's see.
How'd you find this church?
Well, it's my church.
Oh.
Yeah. And there is a lot of anti-racist work that comes out of here. So it's one I'm always happy to show off because it takes that commitment very seriously.
Whether you know exactly what this is or not, it's totally fine. Welcome everybody. Common Power is so named because we believe that the most common power we all should have is the power of the vote. And that is not true. We do not have that. So we send volunteers, mostly from blue areas, to battleground states and districts to go try to make that real.
And so building a base of people that are informed, activated, and ready is incredibly important.
So that's our mission. That's what we do. So thank you for kind of like doing this thought process with us. It's good to see where people are and how aligned we are and what we're trying to build here.
If you've got people in your life that have not canvassed or not done organizing, but like need to start understanding some of those fundamental concepts, and we're going to actually be capacity building in addition to starting to organize for the state.
We're recruiting for the Wisconsin State Supreme Court election April 1st. It will enable us to have a 4-3 liberal majority, get the congressional maps redrawn so that they're fair, protect voting rights, protect union and collective bargaining rights. So very, very high stakes election, and we welcome anyone who's willing to join us and knock on doors.
You know, I think it was a foundational meeting, not just for Chicago, but for a lot of the work that we're going to get to do. So I think it showed us things that we already have the pieces for, things that we hadn't anticipated needing to build the pieces for.
It's going to be different in every city. Different every city, every state. There are different people organizing. When Common Power makes a call, we need folks to show up.
Most definitely, you too.
Yeah, we're here in Chicago, very windy city. It's been really great so far, and we just had our last event here in the St. Paul Church a couple blocks away.
It's interesting when you were talking about the diversity of the types of people in the room, right? Because like you were right, we had the hardcore volunteers that door knocked with us, the new people who they've never met us, people who stumbled across us in the hotel lobby. It was one of those things where it's hard to create content that would fit everybody in the room. The purpose of the event really was to describe our plan in Chicago and how that fits into our strategy for the year. And I think we succeeded at that. I think one of the things that we learned though was that I think we needed to be more concrete with how that can be real. While we deliver the concept really clearly, and I think people liked it and supported
Yeah,
it was also like, okay, come to the next meeting to figure out how to make that happen.
Like tactically, like we want to think about, oh, what can we actually give them at the next meeting?
I think the event was, in a way, too conceptual because we really wanted people to understand what it was. And I think what I'm learning is that like it didn't need to take that much explanation to get people to be on board with what it was.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's why they came.
Well, I think it's exciting. This is kind of Chicago was our guinea pig, I feel like.
I saw some people was like, oh, I love stands. And I'm like, oh.
Oh, it's interesting.
I don't like sweet things.
I don't like sweet things either. Isn't it like an Asian thing? Like Asian people don't like sweet things. They don't like sweet desserts.
Yeah, we don't do sweet desserts. It's either gonna be fried or it's gonna be like, yeah.
So yeah, I think we're finding out that all these hubs are going to be unique in their own. Chicago, we're discovering a lot of things like on the way.
Yeah.
But I'm excited about LA. That's going to be happening next week. It's going to look completely different. We're doing a bunch of house parties, and so it's going to be a little bit more of an intimate vibe. It's very windy.